Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Al Hill and Juan Rosas, co-founders and co-CFOs of Rose Hill. Gentlemen, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks. And Al, I'd like to kick it off with you as we take a look at the SPAC environment in Rose Hill in particular. Why and how did you go out Rose Hill together? And why are you looking at Latin America versus anywhere else?
Well, Jill, thank you, first of all, for having us on today. We're excited to be here, JJ and myself. So I'll tell you, this started, a few years ago when JJ and I were working at Chardin, which is an underwriter and principal investor in SPACs. And we noticed kind of the need for this product and the use of it. And we said, as the SPAC product really gained in popularity in the US, we said, it's interesting and we understand the value, but a lot of those businesses have access to traditional capital markets, to, equity and debt, et cetera, as is today. The market is much more robust. So we got together back in, January or February of this year and said, where in the world can the SPAC as a product really create a true solution for businesses? And we recognized, Latin America to be that space. In addition, JJ's from Lima, Peru himself. I'm actually the only American on the team. The rest of the team is all Latin American. But how it really came together is, we're looking at Latin America and across, Peru, Chile, Colombia, Mexico combined in the last 5 years, there's been fewer than 20 IPOs. And that's not because there are, only 20 businesses that are ready for capital markets across Latin America. It's because the markets are traditionally illiquid and inefficient. It's difficult to go out and raise that capital. It's difficult for businesses in the range that we're looking at to go public in the US from a $400 million to $1 billion enterprise valuation. And so what we said is, the SPAC as a product, as a go public vehicle, is really perfect in Latin America for profitable businesses that need access to, American institutional debt and equity, that can benefit from active investors, and that can use that injection of capital to grow. So it's also a good Nasdaq story because a lot of these businesses, while they're profitable, are growth businesses specifically, across technology, different industries as well. So that's a little of the basis.
So Al, what's your take on the SPAC market and how it's evolving?
I think the SPAC market's interesting. I think it's certainly here to stay. Our plan with Rose Hill is to do Rose Hill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 in Latin America, because we believe that this is a needed product there. One thing that we'll say is, we understand that as time goes on, really something that's going to be necessary in the SPAC market is a fully dedicated team, similar to a private equity group or a venture capital fund or whatever else. You'll need fully dedicated SPAC professionals that this is what they do and what they fundamentally understand. So what I'll say is, there are businesses currently in the US that are looking at pre-revenue or pre-concept businesses to take public via SPAC. JJ and myself as investors, as well as the rest of our team, don't believe that those are necessarily public-ready businesses. That's not our personal investment mindset. So we think that there's going to be, a trending towards, maybe some of these emerging markets or some of these smaller businesses that really need this as a product to go public instead of a traditional IPO. And we plan to continue to pursue it in that way.
Got it. And JJ, let's bring you to the conversation. What's your long-term vision for Rose Hill for the two of you as partners?
Sure. Thank you, Jill, for having us. So I think it's important to emphasize, as Al said, that we have a very long-term mindset, and we do not just want to be Rose Hill one and done. We want to build a SPAC franchise that will be known for being the preferred and most attractive Latin American vehicle for Latin American companies that want to raise capital and become listed in the US. As Al said, we see a lot of potential in the region across sectors that are really disrupting and improving how products and services are being delivered, from fintechs to e-commerce platforms, education technology, healthcare technology, and even more traditional businesses that are experiencing high growth in their fields, primarily driven by the favorable demographics in the region, like 50% of the population is under 30 years old. Urbanization rates are among the highest in the world, 80%. And, there's an overall wave of digitalization and technology adoption that you're seeing right now. So we want to be deeply involved in executing the long-term vision of these companies and, see them become market leaders and really see them drive a positive impact in society, which is the main reason why we started Rose Hill. And in terms of for us as partners with Al, not only he's the best partner one could have, but we're really aligned in terms of the vision and impact that we want to have in Latin America. So we would like to be involved in investing and operating businesses, not only at the public ready stage, which we're doing right now with the SPAC, but also at the less developed stage by raising, a private equity fund and having the goal of, partnering with businesses that we would like it to last forever. So that's kind of our long-term vision that we're seeing right now.
Right. So JJ, how do you plan to create value for your eventual partner?
Well, that is a great question, because I think in the current competitive environment, companies are placing more emphasis on the SPAC sponsor and analyzing what will be the synergies and value add that they will provide to their business or network, instead of just seeing this as a one-time transaction vehicle. So I would say we have developed a program and structure that creates long-term value to our partner in mostly 4 ways. The first one is that, as Al said, we're mostly a fully dedicated team. We think that while most of the SPAC teams in the market have this as a part-time activity with all their full-time jobs, our primary job on the day-to-day is to make sure the transaction and the company is successful in achieving its long-term vision. So we have a duty to spend as much time as possible leveraging our team's operational expertise and network to help the company. And we do not think that that can be done with the standards that we demand, just having this as a side gig. I would say the second thing is the expertise and track record that our team offers in terms of running public companies in Latin America. We have former CFOs of major publicly traded companies in Mexico across different sectors, former directors and advisors at public companies in Brazil, and CEOs of conglomerates in the region that have their subsidiaries listed in the US. So we really know the huge difference there are between leading a public entity that reports every quarter versus a private company. And we think that companies should partner with a sponsor like us that has this level of expertise on the public side. And also, because our team is fully dedicated, we're ready to really take an active role to guide our partner into the ins and outs on how to run a public business properly in Latin America. Then I would say the third one is the network of our board, our team, and our co-sponsors that we bring to companies that are looking to expand outside Latin America, within Latin America or within the same country that they operate. We strategically structure our board so that they are located in the 5 primary countries that we target. As Al said, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, and Peru. So by partnering with Rosehill, the company gets access to a network of well-known and seasoned operators and investors that know each of these local markets very well. And they're ready to leverage their proprietary connections with suppliers, vendors, and operational companies, to expand that business. And I would say the last thing that we want to emphasize is the track record of our co-sponsor and team with the SPAC product. I believe that companies should partner with SPACs that have experience going through the process. And we have Cohen and Company as co-sponsor in the US, which has done, as I said, dozens of SPACs and participated in around 13 successful business combinations. So we are the only Latin American SPAC that has a co-sponsor with this level of experience. And I think that the network and know-how they bring for the structure and use public markets angle will be super helpful in the long run for our partner.
All right. JJ and Al, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill.